Welcome to another live stream, Diaries of a Spiritually Ambitious Entrepreneur, where I'm just sharing things from behind the scenes as I am building my seven-figure business while becoming the best version of myself. So thank you so much if you're here and you're tuning in. I have a very good one to share today because there's a theme that has been coming up in my own journey, my own therapy, in the work I'm doing, and then also in the conversations with my clients. And I'm always paying attention to themes and patterns. And it's what is coming through right now within the collective? Because I think that we're just a lot more synced than we realize. And the thing that's been coming through has to do with perfectionism. And whether you identify as being a perfectionist or not, it's in my experience, many people who are high achieving type A personalities. So if you kind of identify with that, many of those people are perfectionists, or there's a perfectionism thread in there. I've even had clients say oh, I just didn't realize I was good enough to be a perfectionist because I'm not perfect. And I'm like, that is literally the definition of perfectionism. So it's not literally the definition, but it's oh, well, that's very clear. And I don't even personally, I identify as more of a type B personality in some areas. So I don't feel like I'm fully type A. And I have a lot of perfectionism, and it's really been uncovered more and more as I've done inner work and had to put myself out there for my business. I've realized how much I have, you know, have dealt with this underlying thread of perfectionism. And I mean, there's a lot I could go into with this. I don't want to make this. I could riff for an hour about perfectionism. I'm not going to do that. What I want to do essentially is present the argument as to why you don't want to be perfect. I want to kind of decrease the interest in the idea of being perfect, to decrease it as a goal, as something that's even desired. I want to take away the allure of being perfect. And there's two things that have come through recently in client sessions and in my therapy that I'm like, oh yeah, I don't even want that. Actually, there's three, and they all start with an S. So I'm going to go through three reasons you don't actually want to be perfect. And that's also just, hello, you can't be. Even if you wanted to be so badly, you cannot. So there's this whole other conversation to have which is trying to be perfect is arguing with reality. Just point blank, because it's not real. It's not a thing. And excellence is so much different than perfectionism, because excellence is progress related, and excellence, greatness, being remarkable. That's all about progress and movement. And yeah, it's so different. Perfectionism is so much different than those things. So let's just be super clear. You cannot be perfect. It is not possible. So when my clients are saying things well, yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect and I'll just get it done. And I'm like, can we just rewind? It can never be perfect. Just reminder, this is a completely unattainable goal. So it's we do need to remind ourselves of it's completely unattainable and unachievable. And the more we can flag this in our mind as impossible standard, the more our mind will decrease the motivation to move towards it. Because the more, how much time do you spend trying to concoct a personal teleport machine? Probably very little time. How much time do you spend trying to fly? Jump up and fly? How much time do you spend? I don't even know. Trying to, I'm trying to think of something really weird. Turn yourself into metal. None, zero time. Why? Because it's not possible to do. I mean, at some point it might be possible in the future, but right now, from our tools, it's not really a thing that people do. Okay, so that being said, the less your mind flags something as possible, the less effort you're going to try to dedicate towards it. So let's just continually remind ourselves, not possible, not attainable, completely unattainable. Not it'll just every time just remind yourself of that. That's just a side note. So now let's go into 3 reasons why you don't want to be perfect. Number 1, perfection is separation. Perfectionism creates separation. This is what I uncovered with my therapist yesterday, where it's like this need to be perfect or to be perceived as perfect creates this wall between you and everyone else because we are not perfect and we know that on some level. And so then there's things that we hide about ourselves because it doesn't fit with the image we're trying to portray. And there's times we want to like back away. We don't want to be seen in certain states of self. We don't want to be seen. And now you don't need to be seen by everyone. But there's even like, you don't want to be seen maybe crying, or you don't want to be seen needing help, or there's times where you want to hide because you're having an imperfect moment. And that's creates separation. Feeling like there's parts of me that cannot be seen. I need to like suppress. And then because they do exist though within me, I just need to separate myself from others. It just creates a separation. And for some people, for me, it can manifest as judgment, right? Because you're witnessing other people be imperfect. And because you're not okay with yourself being imperfect, you create this judgment, and the judgment separates. So it's like all perfection, perfectionism, the drive to be perfect creates separation more than anything. Um, all it does, and then even let's say you feel like you've achieved it, or like you're like, I'm doing great in this area, I'm perfect. Well, like other people are not. And so there's nothing connecting about it. Like anytime I'm kind of in my perfectionism, there's nothing about it that makes me feel more connected to anyone else. So perfectionism separates. The whole reason we're here is connection. What adds meaning and value and purpose to our life is connection. So we don't want to be perfect because that separates us. And that is literally the opposite of what we came here for. Number 2, perfectionism is static, right? Trying to be perfect. Perfect is one snapshot moment in time. This is how I think of balance too. It's like static. It's like, suck it in, hold your breath. The static, like perfect is that which cannot be improved upon. There is nowhere for it to go. It is flawless. There is nothing to tinker with. It is complete. Like perfect is static. It's done. It's over. It's boring because there's nothing else to do with it. Okay, it just sits there. Okay, and we're here for growth. We're here for movement. We're not here to be rigid and static and like in a snapshot. We're here to be in a video. Like it's real time, right? Perfect is not growth. Perfect is static. We want to grow. So one, it's boring, and then it's just rigid. So that's reason number 2. Reason number 3, perfectionism is smallness. It shrinks you. Perfectionism shrinks you so small because you're so worried about making any kind of mistake. You really only want to do things you know you're already good at, right? It is way too risky to go into the arena and try to do something and you're not perfect yet, right? You're not going to take risks or chances because there's so much on the line. If anyone saw you being anything less than perfect, game over, right? We're done. Um, So you're not gonna take that risk. So by taking that risk, like, you're not gonna do things. You're gonna find one little zone to master, and then you're gonna stay there. And that's the comfort zone, right? That is literally the comfort zone. It's like, I do the things I know I'm good at, and I stay here because there is no risk. And this is my life, and I never move on or grow, and I'm never seen at, like, like, it's small. It keeps you so small. You're unwilling to take a risk and put yourself out there, to experiment, to be a student, to be a beginner. You're unwilling to do anything that could jeopardize being seen as anything less than perfect. You don't want to be messy. You don't like this it became really apparent to me actually um that I really struggled with perfectionism when I was trying to learn Spanish. oh my god, it was so confronting, like, with perfectionism, try to learn a language. See what happens. It is so difficult because I I don't know of a way to learn a language that's not messy and involves other people communicating with you messy, right? So I would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna hire a tutor and communicate with him," and then that's a safe place to be messy, but even then, my tutor was kind of cute, and so I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna be embarrassed in front of him," and, oh, man, it was so confronting with my perfectionism because I was like, he would just say things, he'd be like, just spit it out," and I was like, "But I'm gonna get it wrong," and then I would say it, and I was like, "Is that right? Was that correct?" And I did the same thing with bachata too, like dancing. It's like I'm so afraid to make a mistake. And I get so like, "Oh, I wanna hide." Oh, like, it's just, it's hard. So try to learn a language, try to learn something new and see what happens. There may be certain places where you don't have ego or you don't have the perfectionism, um, but really for me, it's kind of a lot of areas. It's like anytime I'm trying something new, I have to really like, "Okay, we go to beginner. We gotta be beginner. It's okay." And it comes out there. So but if you're not moving through that or fighting that, you're gonna stay so small. So the thing I just described, sort of the end stage result, end stage perfectionism, we don't want that. Uh, I guess I can't speak for you. I do not want that. End stage perfectionism is static. It doesn't move. It's shrunken down. It's really small because it doesn't want to try anything new. So it stays in the comfort zone and it's separate. It's separate from everyone else. It's like this tiny little abscess somewhere that it's never like you're not connected to people. You're small and you're static. It's not a life. So why are we trying to do that again? Why do I need to convince people we don't want that? Like get in the messiness. Just get in the messiness. This is one of actually my deeper intentions in life. And it's scary. Like it is scary, but yeah, when I did this work in the book called The Energy of Money, I was doing this work and you craft like your life's intentions through this. And one of my intentions is to be an example of imperfect success. So that's what I'm doing. I'm up here doing it messy. I'm up here unprotected, just out in the wild because perfectionism, it tries to protect you. What it does is it separates you. And then you don't have protection because you're by yourself. So it's weird. So I would say it's like safe to be imperfect, but that's almost like saying it's safe to breathe oxygen, because it's like the only way to exist. Like we are all imperfect. So if I say it's safe to be imperfect, that doesn't even make sense. It's just we are imperfect and you are safe. Everyone's imperfect. So like anytime we're pretending otherwise, it's just an exercise in delusion. Um so yeah, I don't know. Maybe give it up. Maybe give up the chase. Maybe go out and do something really messy and let yourself be seen in a beginning or in a middle or in a like unknown thing. It's like maybe try to have a moment of vulnerability today in the name of anti-perfectionism, pro-humanism, messyism. I don't know. It's just like give it up. What would happen if you could give it up? What would what who would you be free to become if you could give up the impossible quest for perfection? Who are you free to become when you can give up the impossible quest of perfection? I'll leave you with that, my loves. Go out and live your imperfect, beautiful life. Mwah.